Oh, through the fire, through the flood, through the valley, through the mud. I won't worry, and I won't fear now. I won't fear. Every hand, come on, say it. Whatever's trying to come against you, you tell them, say it. Shall prosper, it will never work against me. Say no, I don't have to worry. I don't have to fear. Hey, stretch out your hands, let me see you. And when I think that I can't make it, I'm reminded that you don't fail. And when I think that I I'm reminded that you've been good before. Stretch out in the room. Every voice say, no, yeah. Shall prosper. It will never work against me, oh my God. Say no found. Come on. Now you got it now. Stretch out. Say no I want you to speak in the room. Speak over your business. Speak over your life. Come here, y'all. Come here. Come here. Say it. It won't. No weapon. No weapon. If the enemy is trying to attack your body, tell him right now. Tell him right now. Anybody in the room feel like your mind has been under attack? Say it. You got promises from the Lord. You got promises from the Lord. Say it won't, it won't. I can rest in the Lord. He's never failed me. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? Happy Sabbath day, happy Sabbath day. This is the day that the Most High have made. So let us be glad and rejoice in it. Let us be glad and rejoice in it. I hope everyone has had a great week this week. I hope the Most High have really truly blessed you over and abundantly with love, kindness, and joy. I hope the Most High have really truly blessed you and your offspring with wisdom and knowledge and understanding of His word. I hope He really truly has blessed you over and abundantly with love, kindness, and joy. I really hope He has. This week has been really an eventful week this week. Yes, it has been. You know, it really has. And it's been a lot of stress and anxiety that's been going on around the world today, this week, you know. But my week has been a pretty good week. Not that you're asking, but my week has been a pretty good week. So I really can't complain too much. I won't complain too much. How you doing, Holly and Rick? How y'all doing this morning? But I can't complain to this morning. I won't complain. Um, you know, it is what it is, you know what I mean? But let us go ahead and get started this morning. Let us go to Exodus chapter 20, verses 1 through 17. And I read this before every Sabbath teaching so that we can understand that that we still up under the Ten Commandments, you know. So I do read these every Sabbath. So this is what I do. It says, and Ananias spake all these words, saying, I am Yahuwah thy Ananias, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage, and thou shalt have no other Ananias before me. And thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in the heavens above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them nor serve them, for I, Yahuwah the Ananias, am a jealous Ananias, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me, and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of Yahuwah thy Ananias in vain, for Yahuwah will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yahuwah thy Ananias. In it thou shalt not do any works, thou nor thy sons, nor thy daughters, thy manservants, nor thy maidservants, nor thy cattle, nor thy strangers that is within thy gates. For in 6 days Yahuwah made the heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore, if Yahuwah blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it, honor thy fathers and thy mothers, that thy days be long upon the land, which Yahuwah thy Adonai giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbors, and thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. Let us pray this morning. O creators of the heavens and earth, and of our radiance and vibrations, soften the grounds of our beings and carve out a space with us where your presence can abide. Fill us with your creativity so that we may be empowered to bear fruits of our missions. Let each of our actions in accordance with our desires within your purpose for our life. Bestow us with the wisdom of produce and share where each being needs to grow and flourish. Untie the tangled thread of destiny that binds us as we release others from the entanglement of past mistakes. Do not let us be seduced by that which distracts us from our true purpose, but illuminate the opportunities of present moments, for you are the ground and the fruitful vision, the creative power and fulfillment, as all is gathered and made whole once again, so let it be. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope everyone is having a great day. I hope everybody's having a great Shabbat. You know, this is the day that the Most High have made, so let us be glad and rejoice in it this morning. You know, but I'll be coming to you this morning out of the book of Ezekiel this morning. No, the book of Isaiah this morning. Book of Isaiah chapter 13 this morning. I'll be coming to you this morning from the book of Isaiah 13. Because of all the things that we see going on in the world today, I think we really truly need to understand what is actually truly happening from the biblical text, from the Bible itself, so that we could be able to not be so worried about what's going on in the world, because we can have a lot of anxieties about what's happening and what's going on and how things are. And we just want to make sure that we view everything from the right perspective and not be too upset, not be too anxious about anything, you know, not be too heartbroken. So when we go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 13, I want you to understand the key verse today. The key verse is verse 17. The key verse is verse 17 in the book of Isaiah, chapter 13. And it says, Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them which shall not regard silver as for gold. They shall not delight in it. Let me read it over. It says, behold, I will stir the Medes against them which shall not regard silver. And as for gold, they shall not delight in it. If I may give a title to teaching today, the title of the teachings today is what we are seeing is biblical prophecy. What we are seeing today in the world, around the world, is biblical prophecy. Okay, so if I may give 2 words today, 2 words is anger. Anger is a 12th century word. It means a violent passion of the mind excited by a real or supposed injury, usually accomplished with a tendency to take vengeance or to obtain satisfaction from the offending party. It means to irritate, it means to provoke, it means to grieve, it means to distress, it means to vex. And also it means, okay, the next word is doom. Doom is a 16th century word. It means a law, a statute, a decree. Administration of justice, judgment, justice, equality, righteousness. It means to condemn to any punishment, to consign by a decree or sentence. Okay, so those are the key words, the 2 words that we're looking at today when we're going through the teachings of the word today. We got to understand that it's about anger, and the word doom means punishment, okay? So when we start to look at the book of Isaiah chapter 13, it's all about the judgment of Babylon. It's all about the judgment of Babylon. Babylon, Babylon, Babylon. And they're being judged. Babylon is being judged because of what they have been doing to the people around the world and about everything that is going on in the world. Babylon had a great, they had their hands in it. They had their hands in all the destructions around the world. And it reminds me of, like I said about 2 or 3 weeks ago, what we see today and how kingdoms rule today is basically how they ruled in the ancient times. When kingdoms was in charge of nations or in the world, those kingdoms made everybody worship the way they wanted them to worship, make them live how they wanted them to live, and they controlled the planet in the way they wanted to control the planet. And so when we look at America today, America has been controlling the planet for the last 75 years, since World War II. So America been controlling the world for, I'd say, for the last almost, say, 80 years, 85 years. So since it's been controlling the planet for the last 85 years, everything revolves around the U.S. Everything revolves around the dollar. Everything revolves around the culture. Everything revolves around the holidays. Everything revolves around how the United States wanted the world to be. And that's how it has been for the last 85 years since World War II, I think. And if we look back in biblical times throughout ancient times, we'll see the same things. Whenever a kingdom was ruling the world, they ruled the world the way they wanted to rule it. They had their values. They had everything they wanted to rule the world and how they wanted it. So we cannot. So when we're looking at the present moment, it is just like how we see ancient times. But the present moment is more real, and we can see more details and scenarios and situations when we look at it from the present moment. But when we're looking at it from the Bible point of view, the Bible point of view just give you a broad picture. It give you a broad scope of things, and then you have to fill in the blanks. You have to be able to say, oh, hey, this, and okay, this is how they did that. And then you have to go get other books to be able to fill in the blanks so that you can understand why Egypt fell, why the ancient Mesopotamia, Babylon fell, why the Assyrians fell, why the Medo-Persians fell, why the Romans and the Greeks fell. So, because that's when we had to go get other books to fill in those blanks to be able to understand. But this present moment here, we can actually see why the recent or the present United States of Babylon is getting ready to fall, because of their culture, their way of life, and how they do things around the world. Because America probably been in existence probably for about 244 to 245 years. And out of those 244 to 245 years, they have been at war for probably 240 of those years. So when we're looking at it from that viewpoint, America has been a very violent country. It has been very violent. It has been people that goes around and kills people or dominates people to take their territory. So when we're looking at it from that viewpoint, we got to understand that. Okay, we got to understand that America has been establishing dominance through violence. But I want to go ahead and read Isaiah chapter 6, Isaiah chapter 10, verse 5 through 6, because I want you to understand something. Nothing is done without the Most High doing it. Nothing is done without the Most High doing it. And I want you to understand that so that we can understand the text better. Okay, it says in Isaiah chapter 10, verse 5 and 6, it says, O Assyrians, the rod of my anger and the staff in their hands is in my indignation. Listen to that again. It says, O Assyrian, the rod of my anger and the staff in their hands is in my indignation. I will send him against the hypocritical nations, and against the people of my wrath will I give him a charge, to take the spoils, to take the prey, and to tread them down like the mire of the streets. So when we're looking at it, the Most High uses nations and nations against other nations of people when they have been abusing their authority, when they have been abusing their powers, when they have been abusing everything about their situation. Just like, say hypothetically right now, the United States have been in control and in charge for a long period of time. And they have been in control and authority for a long time. And when people don't do what the United States want them to do, either they'll go to war with them, or they'll delete their leaderships, or they'll place sanctions on them. That's what that's what they would do. They will go to war with them, put sanctions on them, or they'll delete their leaderships, and they allow other leaders to come in. So when we understand that, that is a very hypocritical nation. That nation is dominated through hypocrisy. Just like now when we see the state of Israel is mad at Iran because of the fact that Iran want to get nuclear weapons, but not necessarily saying that they have nuclear weapons. But the state of Israel have nuclear weapons, but they don't want Iran to get nuclear weapons. That is a hypocritical nation. How can you have something for yourself, but you don't want me to have anything for myself? And what's getting me about people is that, and I'm getting ready to get started in a minute. What's making me disappointed about people is that they only look at the right now moment. They're only looking at the right now moment and how it affects them. But in actuality, when we look at the migrants that come over here to the United States, all the migrants that come from these countries, the United States have placed sanctions on them. And the sanctions affected them in political, it affected their economics, it affected their livelihood. It affected everything when the United States placed sanctions on these people. So on these countries, so when these countries have sanctions put on them by the United States, these people don't have no other way or other means to provide for themselves but to come to the United States, or but go to another country. But if the United States would have never put sanctions on these people or these countries, they would have never had to leave their countries, because they had enough to provide for themselves. But because the United States put sanctions on these countries in South America or in Haiti or wherever they put them on, these people had to leave their countries because they can't make a decent living and go somewhere else. They had a place where they could go make a decent living. But now they're in the United States and the people are mad, but you can't get mad with those people who's being sanctioned by your country. Tell your country to quit sanctioning their country so that they can be able to make a decent living. But you're mad with them? No, you should be mad with your government because your government is placing sanctions on these countries that bring these migrants here. You think they want to leave their homeland so they can come live with you and you don't want them up here? No, they probably prefer to stay at home with their own people. But because your country placed sanctions on them, because your country placed sanctions on these countries and they come up here, you mad. You're hypocritical. You're a hypocritical people and you're a hypocritical nation of people. Because you're saying, I can eat the way I want to eat, but I don't want you to eat the way you need to eat. That's hypocritical. That's hypocrisy. That's why he says this in Isaiah chapter 10, verse 6. I will send him against the hypocritical nations and against the people of my wrath, and I will give him a charge to take the spoils, to take the prey, and to tread them down like the mire of the streets. So the same thing that the state of Israel want for the state of Israel don't want the Iranian people to have. How could you be so hypocritical? How could you say that, yes, I can have a good life. Yes, I can have nuclear weapons, but you can't? What kind of sense does that make? It's not, as some people say, it's not fair. No, it's not fair. So, like my mom used to say, what's good for the geese is good for the gander. What's good for you is good for me. And that's what people got to understand. You cannot be hypocritical. And the more you're hypocritical, the more the judgment will come on you from Yahuwah. So now let us go back to Isaiah chapter 13 because I want us to understand something. What we're going through today is biblical prophecy. And the biblical prophecy is coming from Yahuwah's anger, his mad, his hatred towards one nation or another. His anger is coming upon this nation of people because of how they behave, how they lifestyle, how they live. And so because of how they lifestyle and how they live and how they portraying everybody else to be, that's why he's bringing all this hatred upon, that's why he's bringing all this judgment upon the land. Because it says in verse 13, in Isaiah chapter 13, verse 1 through 5, because he's going to call a nation upon the United States because of this. Because what we think we're seeing over there with the Iranians and Israel, the state of Israel, the United States, what we think we see is not what we see. It's judgment. It's biblical prophecy. This is the beginning of the end. And even when we see the protests that's going around the United States today, this is the beginning of the end because the Iran have Iranians here in the United States. And they can cause disruption if they wanted to. The only thing the Iranian prime minister have to do is tell them, hey, go ahead and start destroying the United States. That's all they got to do is say, hey, start destroying the United States. Because let me read you something. Let me read you something. If my computer won't be going so slow. And somebody bought me a book, too. Where that book at? Somebody bought me this book. They sent me this book. It says, Vain Traditions. Okay, somebody bought me this book. They sent it to me. And I wanted to say thank you for whoever bought me this book. I really appreciate it because it helps me out a lot. So thank you for whoever bought me this book and sent it to me in the mail. Okay? But I want to go ahead and read you something, okay? I I did this, right? I Googled this morning. I said, how many people have died in Gaza since 2024? And I know the numbers are going to be incorrect, but I want to say something to you. It says, based on various reports and analysts, the number of deaths in Gaza since the beginning of 2024 is substantial and multifaceted. Here's a breakdown of the available information. Okay? It says in December 31st, 2024, Gaza Health Ministry reported 23,842 people passed away in Gaza in 2024. Okay, and then it says Al Jazeera reported that over 46,000 people has been deleted in Gaza in the past 15 months since October 2023, including approximately 18,000 children. The Palestinian Ministry of Health reported that 37,877 deletes, of whom 28,185 were identified, but the rest wasn't. Now it says, as of June 11, 2025, over 57,000 57,000 were reported deleted in Gaza. Gaza war according to the Gaza Health Ministry. Okay, so basically it's telling us that, also it's telling us, as of January 2025, a comparable estimate of traumatic injuries death would be around 80,000 people. 80,000 people have been deleted over in Gaza over an incident that killed maybe 1,300. So 1,300 people is estimated to equal to 80,000 people, and they're still doing it to this day. So we got to understand that. We got to understand that some people are very hypocritical in the decisions that they make. And they are very hypocritical because they want what they want, but they don't want other people to have the same things that they desire to have. And that's what the Most High is dealing with the nations about. It says in Isaiah chapter 13, verse 1, it says, the burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see. He said, lift up a banner upon the high mountains, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand, that they may go into the gates of the nobles. I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones for my anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. The noise of the multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdom of nations gathered together. The Yahuwah of hosts mustered the host of the battles. They came from a far country, from the ends of the heavens. Even Yahuwah, the weapons of his indignations, to destroy the whole land. So what this is basically saying, this nation who Yahuwah has called at this very moment to come up against the kingdom of Babylon is in the hands of Yahuwah to do the destructions, to be able to bring judgment on these hypocritical nations. To bring judgment and to bring judgment on the hypocritical nation, because this is what it says in verse 3. I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones for my anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. See, when we're looking at what's going on over Russia and Ukraine, when we look at see what's going on with Israel in Iran, a lot of us are looking at it from the Babylonian viewpoint that, hey, Ukraine is a victim of Russia. But Ukraine has been considered the wickedest nation, one of the most wickedest nations in the Europeans. When we're looking at Iran and is the state of Israel, we got to look at how the state of Israel got to be in Palestine in order for us to say that, hey, the state of Israel is whether it's good or bad. Because when we look at how the state of Israel got to be in Palestine, they went in there and took them people land. So how can we say that they are the chosen people when they went over there and confiscated and took these people lands and made it be what they wanted it to be? How can we say that the state of Israel are the chosen people? We can't say that because the Most High said, I will place my people in their land. So when it says, I have commanded my sanctified ones, Russia is the Most High. Most High is using Russia to destroy Ukraine. And when we look at Iran, the state of Israel, and Babylon, we're going to look at as the Iran is being used by the Most High to destroy the state of Israel and Babylon. That's exactly what's getting ready to happen, because these countries are wicked. These countries are wicked. These countries have been doing things that have been out of the order of the Most High. Okay? So let me read it over. It said, I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones for my anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. The noise of the multitudes in the mountain, like as of a great people. A tumultuous noise of the kingdom of nations gathered together. Yahuwah of hosts mustered the host of the battle. Listen to that. The Most High called this stuff to be right now. And see, a lot of times we don't think that the Most High is doing all these things. We always look at things from the physical realm. This is man's doing. This is man doing. But no, this is the Spirit doing. This is what the Most High is doing. This is what the Most High is doing. He's doing this right now. But we can't look at it from the man. We got to look at it from the Spirit. Then it says they come from a far country, from the ends of the heavens, even Yahuwah, and the weapons of his indignations. This Iran is a weapon for Yahuwah. Russia is a weapon for Yahuwah. It says, and the weapons of his indignation, to destroy the whole land. That's what Iran is used for right now. That's what Russia is used right now for, to destroy the whole land. That's something that we got to understand as a people. That's something that we got to understand as a nation. Let us go to Revelation chapter 17. Because if we can get out of our way of thinking and try to understand the way that Yahuwah thinks, we can have a better understanding of what's going on in the world. But because we look at things from our viewpoint, we misunderstand everything that's happening. Because some of us are looking as the state of Israel as being a victim, Ukraine as being a victim, but that's not the case. They have been victimizers. Okay, as in Revelation chapter 17, verse 12 through 18, it says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest are the 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. For he is Lord of lords and kings of kings. And they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. And he said unto them, and he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whores sitteth, are people and multitudes and the nations and tongues. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, which is Babylon, which is state of Israel, which is the European G7s, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Now, what's going on in the state of Israel right now? She's burning with fire. And it says, for Adonai has put in their minds and their hearts to fulfill his will. Listen to that. These Iran and Russia and China, these 10 horns are fulfilling the biblical prophecy, are fulfilling the Most High's word. That's something that we got to understand. And to agree and give their kingdoms unto the beast, unto the words of Adonai shall be fulfilled. That's what I just said. Everything that we see today going on in the world today is because of Yahuwah's word. Because of what Yahuwah wants. Because he spoke, he said, my word shall not go out and come back void. So that's something that we got to understand. When we see what's going on here in the United States with all these protests around the world, yes, it is part of the destruction of Babylon. That's what it is. It's part of the destruction of Babylon. It says, for Adonai has put in their minds to fulfill his will and to agree and give their kingdoms unto the beast, until the words of Adonai shall be fulfilled. And the words which thou sawest is that great city which reigned over the kings of the earth. So the Most High have put bricks together. The Most High have put bricks together. And Iran is part of BRICS. Ethiopia is part of BRICS. Those countries are part of BRICS. Those are the countries that's going to come against Babylon in the last days. You understand that? So let us go to Joel chapter 3, verse 11. It says this right here. It says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathens, and gather yourselves together round about, till the cause thy mighty ones who come down, O Yahuwah. Let the heathens be awakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. For there will I set to judge all the heathen around about. So this is the Most High's will. This is what the Most High is doing. And so we cannot be disgruntled because what we see what Yahuwah is doing. We just got to accept it and roll with it because this is his judgment upon the land. No matter what you try to do, you can't escape it. We cannot escape what's actually going on in the world today. Only thing we need to be doing is getting our spiritual life right, so because what Yahuwah is doing in the world and all the things that we see that's going on in the world. Let us go to Jeremiah chapter 51, verses 20 through 24. I read this one last week because the 10 horns got to be able to destroy Babylon. And then once the 10 horns destroy Babylon, the 10 horns will be in charge for a period of time. Then after the 10 horns become in charge, that's when the real final act come into play. And they only going to be in charge for a short period of time. It says, thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. Listen to that. The Most High will never come down and fight his battle as long as he got people on the earth. There's no need for him to come down and fight because he got people here. It says, thou art my battle axe and weapon of war. For with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms. See, that's something that we got to understand. Humans are going to do the work, not the Most High himself. Humans are going to do the work. That's what we need to understand. He said, thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. For with thee will I break in pieces the nation, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms. And with thee will I break in pieces the horses and his riders. And with thee will I break in pieces the chariots and his riders. He's saying, with thee, with thee, with thee, with thee. The Most High uses nations to destroy nations. That's why he called them. That's why he said, I call my mighty men. And with thee also will I break in pieces man and woman. And with thee I will break in pieces old and young. And with thee will I break in pieces young men and maids. I will also break in pieces with the shepherds and his flocks. And with thee will I break in pieces the husbandman and his yoke of oxen. And with thee will I break in pieces captains and rulers. So when we understand that the Most High is going to call a specific group of people for a specific reason and to destroy specific nations. That's why Babylon destroyed Jerusalem in 586. In 602. That's why he destroyed these nations. That's why he used Babylon to destroy Jerusalem. He used Persia to destroy Babylon. So what we're seeing now is the destruction and the fall of the state of Israel in America. Because he's using Iran and Russia and China to do it. That's something that we got to understand. Let us go back to Isaiah chapter 13. Because I done taught on this before. Okay? Because the first 1 through 5 is just talking about the Most High has called his anointed ones. He called the mighty men of war. He called the sanctified ones and the mighty ones for his wars. Okay? That's what we got to understand. That Iran has been preparing for this for the last 20 years. Iran has been preparing for this for the last 20 years. Yes, you'll hit them on the jaw, they'll turn it. They was playing the long game. That's what Iran is playing, the long game. Iran was being patient. Iran was they had their mind focused on making sure they can build their weapons up to being able to shoot 100 ballistic missiles a day for the 6 months. That's what they was doing. Iran probably got 1,000 rounds of ballistic weapons that they can shoot out for the next whatever time to destroy the state of Israel. And the state of Israel can't do nothing about it because they don't have that much ammunition because they've been fighting the Houthis and Hamas for the last 2 years. And they've been getting their weapons from the United States. So now, while Iran's stockpile is full, United States and the state of Israel's stockpile of weapons are almost depleted because the United States has also been giving weapons to Ukraine. So it says, how ye for that day of Yahuwah is at hand. Listen to that. How ye for the day of Yahuwah is at hand. So what we seeing today is the Most High working. What we seeing what's going on in the world today is the Most High is working. Because he said this right here. Let us go to Matthew chapter 10. because we misunderstand something. Even though this is what Yeshua HaMashiach or Jesus the Christ or Yahya Shai said. He said this right here. It says, think not that I'm come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. So what we see on the earth right now is violence. What we see on the earth right now is chaos. What we see right now on the earth is calamities. So when we see all these things, we got to realize that this is the day that this is what's actually going on. Let's go back to Isaiah chapter 13, verse 6. What we're seeing today is a sword. What is a sword? Destruction. It says, Howl ye, for the day of Yahuwah is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. That's what a sword brings, destruction. It brings violence. It brings chaos. It brings calamities. It says, therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. Okay? Because of the destruction they're going to see on the land, they're not going to feel too good about it. They're not going to feel too good about the situation. And they shall be afraid. Their hands shall be faint. Their minds shall melt. They shall be afraid. Pain and sorrow shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flames. What does flames mean? What does flames mean? Burnt. It shall be angered. It shall be burnt. It shall be like in battle. The countenance, the edge. It means you're gonna see fear. You're gonna see a lot of different facial expressions. Because of the situation that they're in. It's gonna be gloomy, sad. What's up, Brother Greg? It's gonna be sad. It's going to be all these things that this is going to be on these people's faces. Because the reality that they're going to see and experience is going to be crazy. And the reason why, like I was saying earlier, right? Gaza done had over, say, 100,000 people to get killed. Or to perish, right? Gaza have had over 100,000 people to perish. 75% of the people that perished in Gaza have been women and children. 75% of the people that been perished over there in Gaza have been women and children. And I want us to understand something. Deuteronomy chapter 28. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 50. Because when a nation can go delete another nation of people and not have no respect for women and children, they something else. Okay? Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 50. It says, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young. See, the state of Israel don't show no mercy to the people in Gaza. They don't show no mercy to the old or to the young. Because if they did show mercy to the old and the young and the women, they will make sure that they get medical supplies through. They'll make sure they get food through. But these people don't care nothing about the women or the young and old. They don't care nothing about them people. That's why the Most High is doing what he's doing right now in Israel. Because they didn't have no empathy and sympathy towards the people in Gaza. Why should he have any sympathy and empathy towards them. That's something we got to understand. The Most High he's not going to have no remorse for Israel, state of Israel. He's not going to have no remorse for the U.S. This is a done deal. This is a wrap. And I'm just being honest with you. This is a wrap. This is done. The U.S. as we know it today is done. Especially, even though, because we got to look at it this right here too. They allowed over 20 million immigrants to come into the country from 2020 to 2024. A lot of those immigrants came from Russia. A lot of immigrants came from China. A lot of immigrants came from the Middle East. When I did it, I pulled up several news articles a long time ago. They got some from Venezuela. We got some from Mexico and South America. All the countries that the United States have put sanctions on, these people are here. And they talking about doing a major protest today. But I read a news article a little while ago that they was finding weapons. That they was finding weapons in these shelters. So don't think that these people don't have no weapons or war here on this soil. You had 20 million migrants or immigrants coming to the country. And you don't think these people are part of some plan to help destroy this country? The United States is the only country that has not been invaded from the inside. A lot of other countries have. They have not had a civil unrest in the United States like they have in other countries. And today is the day that they're supposed to have this big protest. And majority of the people are going to be from other countries and not from the United States. So let us go back to Isaiah chapter 13. Let us go to verse 9. Because the Most High is bringing judgment on these people in this land for a specific reason, because of what they did to nations and people around the world. It says, behold, the day of Yahuwah cometh, cruel both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. Listen to that. Listen to that. When we see the Most High's fierce anger, it's when he started to destroy things. When he decided to start destroying land and people. Like what you get ready to see over there in the state of Israel. That ain't gonna be the way you see it now, and maybe a month from now, it's not gonna be that way. It's gonna be decapitated, it's gonna be desolate. Because that's what he said, behold, the day of Yahuwah cometh, cruel both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. His main purpose is to get rid of the sinners, the people who's wicked. And the people who's wicked are killing women and children over there in Gaza. Don't care nothing about those people in Gaza. Okay, it says, for the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. The reason why, it was like when I was looking at this morning, it said the reason why it may be that moon, you may not be able to see the sun, and you may not be able to see the moon to give us light, because it's going to be so much burning. It's going to be so much destruction, so much smoke going to be up in the air from destruction. that you won't be able to see it. Just like when they was fighting over in Kuwait and the oil fields was burning. And the guy said the only thing you could see up in the skies was black smoke. That's the only thing that you could see up in the sky was black smoke. Because there was so much destruction going on. So, like when you starting to see a lot of destruction and chaos, you only seeing the smoke that comes from the fire because he said he's going to burn it with fire. And it says, and I will punish the world. Listen to this. He said, I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquities. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease. And I will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. Listen to this. 3 things. He's going to punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquities and the arrogancies of the proud to cease. The world means countries. The wicked mean the people. And the arrogancy is the mindset of the countries and the peoples. And see, people in America and the state of Israel, they so high-minded that they feel like they can do whatever they want to do, how they want to do it, the way they want to do it around the world. And can't nobody stop them from doing it. That is the arrogancy. He's going to cause that to cease. And see, it says, the world for their evils, the wicked for their sins, and I will cause the arrogancies of the proud to cease. Okay? So, because we got to understand something. Scriptures say pride come before the fall. And I'm trying to wait till my computer come back up. It says pride come before the fall. And see, these countries have had a lot of pride within themselves. They've been very proudful about what's going on in the world, about their state, where they at, how they live. And they've been putting everybody else down. Oh, I can have something, but you can't. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 24 until my computer come back up. Isaiah chapter 24, verse 4 through 6. It says, the earth mourn and fadeth away. The world languish and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the law, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Listen to this. I want you to understand something. They have transgressed the law and changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore has the curse devoured the earth. They that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. See, the reason why the earth is in such chaos, right? The reason why the earth is in so much chaos, right? Let us go to Daniel chapter 7, verse 25. It says this in Daniel chapter 7, verse 25, and then it reads, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. That's what the word ordinance means. The word ordinance means laws. and they shall be given into his hands unto a times, and the dividing of times. See what happened when the G7s got in control and charge. They changed a lot of laws. They changed the ordinance. A lot of Christians go to church on Sunday when they should not go to church on Sunday. That's changing the law. They telling the Christians it's okay for them to eat pork when they should not eat pork. It's a lot of things that Christianity is allowing the world to do when it goes against the laws. So when it says, and he shall speak great words against the Most High and shall wear out the saints of the Most High and think to change times and ordinance. That's the reason why the world is in chaos, because the laws have been changed. Ordinances have been changed. And because ordinances and laws have been changed, that's why people are in chaos the way they are in. Also, let us go ahead and go to Jeremiah chapter 51. Because if you just kept the Most High law, statutes, commandments, none of this stuff will be happening. Verse 38 through 34. Because the Most High is going to destroy the people, and he's destroying the people because of their arrogancy, because of their pride, because they changed his laws, statutes, and commandments, because it says this in Revelation chapter 20. Let me see something. Let me see something. In Revelation chapter 22, verse 19, it reads this. And if any man shall take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, Ananias shall take away his portion, his part out of the book of life, and out of the holy city, and from the things which are written in this book. Let me go back to verse 18. It says, for I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the book of the prophecy of this book. If any man shall add unto these things, God shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book. See, that is the reason why the Most High is getting ready to destroy the earth, is because man changed laws, statutes. And when he changed the laws and statutes, man brought curses upon himself. So now when he brought curses upon himself, the Most High he got to come here and bring destruction upon the land. That's why destruction is here, because it says again in Revelation chapter 22, 18 and 19, it says, for I testify to every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book. If any man shall add unto these things, Ananias shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book. If any man shall take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, Ananias shall take away his part out of the book of life, out of the holy city, and from the things which are written in this book. Okay, so now we just read in Daniel chapter 7, verse 25, they wanted to change the times and laws. We also read that in Isaiah chapter 13, verse no, we didn't read that in Isaiah. But we read that in Daniel chapter 7. The reason why the punishment is coming, because people they changed the law, statutes, and commandments. And the Most High told you in Revelation, if you change the law, statutes, and commandments, you're going to bring a curse upon yourself. And that's what we're seeing today. Judgment on the people because they changed the law, statutes, and commandments. Okay? Let us go to Revelation. Did I read Jeremiah 51?
No.
Let us go to Jeremiah 51. Let's go back to Jeremiah chapter 51 now. Verse 34 through 38. It says in Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 34, because we got to understand, because of their pride and arrogance, and they changed the law, statute, commandment, the Most High had to bring judgment on the earth, because the book of Revelation was the first book that was written. Not Job, but Genesis. It started from the end to the beginning. Okay, it says, Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, has devoured me. He has crushed me. He has made me an empty vessel. He has swallowed me up like a dragon. He has filled his belly with my delicates. He has cast me out. Listen to this verse here. The violence done to me and to my flesh be upon Babylon. Understand that. The violence done to me and to my flesh be upon Babylon. Shall the inhabitants of Zion say, my blood upon the inhabitants of the Chaldeans shall Jerusalem say. It says, therefore saith Yahuwah, behold, I will plead thy cause and take vengeance for thee, and I will dry up her sea and make her spring dry. Babylon shall become heap, a dwelling place for dragons, an astonishment, and a hissing without an inhabitant. They shall roar together like lions, and they shall yell as lions heap. Okay, let me just go back to something. Go to verse 35 again. It says in verse 35, the violence done to me and to my flesh be upon Babylon. Right? Violence also brings on death, right? Let us go to Numbers. Go to Numbers chapter 35, verse 33. So when you bring in death upon somebody, you got to understand Numbers chapter 35, verse 33. It says, so ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defiles, death it defiles the land. And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. So the state of Israel have to go through what they go through, because the simple fact is what they did to the people in Gaza. What's going to happen to the state of Israel is the same thing what's happening to the people in Gaza because of that verse. They shedded blood on that land. So the people who shedded the blood, their blood got to be shed. See, Iran never committed no violence. It was the state of Israel that committed the violence. So what happens? So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for the blood it defiles the land, and the blood cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. So if the United States is shedding blood over in Iran, what you think ought to happen here? Let's go back to Isaiah 13. Isaiah chapter 13, verse 12. So that's why destruction gonna come, because the Most High have called his anointed ones to bring destruction, because the blood that has been shed, the pride and the arrogance, the violence, the wickedness, and the people who decided to change the laws, statutes, and commandments. That is the reason why the Most High is bringing these judgments. That's why the Most High is using Iran right now. That's why the Most High is using China. That's why the Most High is using Russia. Because those are part of the 10 kingdoms. Because the Most High is bringing judgment on those wicked nations who's been ruling the world for the last 70, 80 years, or 400 years. Verse 12, it says, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the gold wedge of fire. Therefore, I will shake the heavens. This is what the Most High is going to do. Listen to this. Let's listen to this. Therefore, I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place in the wrath of Yahuwah and in the day of his fierce anger. So right now, what we see on the earth, we don't see Yahuwah as being happy. We don't see Yahuwah as being happy. We don't see God as being happy. We see God as being mad and upset. We see God as being angry with people because of the things that they have done wrong. The Most High is not pleased with these people right now. The Most High is very upset with people in these nations and these kingdoms right now, because they changed the laws, there was violence, and they committed a lot of blood. And so that's why the Most High's got to, you shedded blood, I got to shed your blood. Okay, these are the consequences that's getting ready to happen. It says, therefore, in 13 again, it says, therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place in the wrath of Yahuwah of hosts, and in the days of his fierce anger. See, the Most High is angry right now because of everything that's going on. And it shall be as a chased roe, as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people and flee everyone into his own land. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. What you think what's happening in LA is the beginning of everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. This is the beginning of the violence. This is the beginning of the chaos. That's something we got to understand. Because there's violence going over in the Far East, there's got to be violence here. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled. Their wives shall be ravaged. And I taught on this before. Let it resonate. This is the conditions that's going to be in America. If you got 20 million people just decide to just cause a disruption in the United States, how violent would it be? How violent would it be? What it could do to the foundation of this country. Because you still got to understand now, Donald Trump said he wanted to have military stationed in all major cities by July 28th. That's a month and a couple of days. See, by him having military in major cities by July 28th, it's first got to be a cause to have him to have that situation. Like she said, cause and effect. So if they're causing this stuff to happen, They already got a solution. So they already know there's going to be people, their children shall also be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled and their wives ravished because of the chaos that when you allow those 20 million people to come into this country. Behold, listen to this one. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Who is the Medes? The Persians, the Iranians. What we're in conflict with right now, the Iranians. We're in conflict with them right now, and it's not going to stop. The Iranians are going to be sending ballistic missiles over in the state of Israel 100 a day for the next 3 to 4 months. And then not even including Iran, the state of Israel is fighting Yemen. The state of Israel is fighting Hamas. The state of Israel is fighting the Houthis. And they're fighting Iran all at the same time. How can the state of Israel win this war? Understand that. Then they still up in Syria. How can the state of Israel win it? They can't. They won't. Because of the things that they have done to the people over in Gaza. How they got the land. How can the United States be a part? How can the United States win? When they get ready, when Russia is fighting Ukraine and the United States is helping fight Ukraine, how can the United States win if China's getting ready to fight Taiwan and the United States is going to have to help Taiwan? How can the United States win if North Korea and South Korea go at it and the United States got to help South Korea? And then you got 20 million people over here in the United States causing chaos and chaos and commotion. You don't have enough people. You don't have enough soldiers to go around and fight people like that. And then you got hidden racism here in the United States. How can all this stuff take place? How can the state of Israel and America win on it? The climate here is a boiling point. Let us go to Jeremiah chapter 50 because we're talking about the Medes, which are the Persians, which are the Iranians. See, the Most High is stirring up the Iranians for this moment, and he's going to use them to help bring his words into fruition. Everything that we see in today is biblical prophecy. Everything that we see is biblical prophecy. And Iran is a key portion in the biblical prophecy. That's what we got to understand. It says, for lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of a great nation from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken, and their arrow shall be as of a mighty expert man, and none shall return in vain. Listen to that again. Their arrow shall be as of a mighty expert. See, right now, Iran is really destroying the state of Israel. The state of Israel was not prepared, and the United States is not prepared for what Iran been preparing for. So like I said, Iran been preparing for the last 20 years for this moment. Do you know how many weapons you can accumulate for 20 years? You know what you can build. You know what you can have for 20 years. A lot. This is what, let me see something. Let me read you something. Let me see if I can find it for you. Because I want to read you what the Iranians called. Okay, let me read you something. It says Iran plans to give those weapons, nuclear weapons, to its terrorist proxies that will make the nightmare of nuclear terrorism all too real. The increasing range of Iran ballistic missiles will bring that nuclear nightmare to the city of Europe and eventually to America. And listen to that again. Let me read that over for you. It says, and Iran plans to give those weapons, nuclear weapons, to its terrorist proxies that will make the nightmare of nuclear terrorism all too real. The increasing range of Iran ballistic missiles will bring that nuclear nightmare to the cities of Europe and eventually to the United States, a U.S. Remember, Iran called Israel the small Satan, and they called America the great Satan. And this is why listen to this. This is why for decades it led millions in the chance of death to Israel and death to America. Today, Israel is responding to those genocidal calls with actions and with a call of our own. Long live Israel and long live America. Our actions will help make the world a much safer place. Iran know who he's dealing with. Iran know exactly who they dealing with. Iran called the state of Israel the small state Satan and called America the great Satan. Israel cannot do nothing without America because America funds Israel. America gives Israel over $5 billion every year. So when it says this in Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 9, that arrow shall be as an expert man, and it says that will make the nightmare of nuclear terrorism all too real. The increasing range of Iran ballistic missiles will bring that nuclear nightmares to the city of Europe and eventually to America. Ain't that something? Let us go to Daniel. Let us go to Daniel chapter 5, verse 28. See, everybody know what's going on. Everybody know what's going on. Everybody understand that this is the end time. Everybody understand that we don't have much time left. It says in Daniel chapter 5, verses 28 through 31. It says, Persia, thy kingdom is divided and give to the Medes and Persia. Priests, a purse. Thy kingdom is divided and given to the Medes and Persia. Then the commands of Belshazzar, and they clothed Daniel with scarlets, and put a chain of gold about his neck, and made a proclamation concerning him that he should be the third ruler in the kingdom. That ain't nothing. But what it's basically saying is Medid is Persia, and Persia is Iran. Okay? Last one, Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 41. Because the Most High is using Iran to bring judgment on the whole G7s of Babylonian nations. And Russia is also a part of that. Isaiah chapter 41, verse 25. It says, I have raised up one from the north, and he shall come from the rising of the sun. Shall he call upon my name, and he shall call upon the princes as upon mortal, and as the potter treadeth clay. See, Iran never did anything that was against the agreements of what he made with America. Iran was a righteous place, trying to do the right thing. But how can the state of Israel tell Iran, you can't have nuclear weapons, but they can? So the Most High raised him up for this moment. Okay? So this is Iran's job. What we see going on in the world today, this is Iran's job. To be used by the Most High to bring destruction on people. Just like what the state of Israel did to Gaza. Go to Galatians chapter 6, verse 7. What state of Israel did to Gaza? Be not deceived, Ananias not mocked, for whatever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. Let us go to Matthew chapter 26, verse 52. Because I want us to understand this. America been at war for over 242 years, or 240 years, right? America been at war for over 240 years of its existence, right? America been in existence for over 200 plus years, but they've been over at war for over 240 of those years, right? Matthew chapter 26, verse 52. Then said Jesus unto him, put up again thy sword unto its place. For all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword. You live by the sword. Revelation chapter 13, verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity, and he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. America been at war for over 240 years. Okay, let me give you a little something, then I'm done. I said, who has the largest amount of death toll in military combat? It says, when looking at military combat death, World War II has the highest recorded number of fatalities. estimated for World War II, military death reaches nearly 15 million. At first it just said 70 to 80 million, okay? But other conflict with high military death toll includes World War I, ranges from 8 to 11 million. Napoleon War, 2 million to 3 million. That ain't the one I want, but I'm going to say this. America, okay, here it is. The number of military fatalities in all major wars involving the United States from 1775 to 2024. The American Civil War, you lost over 20,000. World War II, America lost over 405,000. World War I, you lost over 115,000. The Vietnam War, you lost over 60,000. The Korean War, you lost over 35,000. The American Revolutionary War, you lost over 20,000. The War of 1812, you lost over 20,000. Mexican-American War, you lost over 13,000. War on Terror, you lost over 7,000. The Spanish and American War, you lost over 2,000. The Gulf War, you lost over 300. Why are most wars fought? Most wars are fought in conclusion. Most wars are fought for a variety of complex and often interconnected reasons. Understanding these multiple causes ranging from tangible factors like resources and power to intangible elements like ideas and historical grievances is critical for analyzing and potentially preventing conflicts. Most wars are fought over resources. That's the main reason why the United States has been in wars. Over resources. And you don't think the Most High is mad with that? You want to go take somebody else's stuff because they got something you don't have. That's why they're in Burkina Faso in the country on the continent of Africa. They're trying to take these people resources. The reason why they're in Iran is because they want to take the oil reserves that Iran have, because Iran is the largest resource of oil in the Middle East besides Saudi Arabia. And Iran is giving their oil to China, helping Russia. They're not fighting with Iran because of nuclear weapons. They're fighting Iran because of oil. They're not kicking the people out of Gaza and the Palestinians out of Gaza. They want to take their resources so they can build this big palace of kingdom for Donald Trump. In conclusion with them, Isaiah chapter 13, verse 19, 20, 21, and I'm done. And Babylon, the glory of the kingdom, the beauty of the Chaldean excellence shall be as when Ananiah overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. So start preparing yourself for this situation. If this protest go the way they people wanted it to go, the United States will start burning like Sodom and Gomorrah. And it shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelled in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabians pitch tents there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there. Listen to that. It will come from a beautiful place into a place of desolate. And their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and all shall dwell there. And the wild beasts of the island shall cry in their desolate houses, and the dragons in their pleasant palaces. And her time is near to come. Her days shall not be prolonged. So everything that you see in today and what we see in today is biblical prophecy because of the wickedness of the nations who's ruling the world. The Most High is angry at these nations for what they have done and what they continue to do. And the Most High is going to bring doom and destruction upon the land. And that's just something we got to understand, because the Most High called Iran to destroy the people because of what the things they've been doing. And that's something that we as a people got to understand. We as a people, we got to understand it. So, Father, as we come to you today, we thank you, we bless you, we praise you, we give you all the honor and the glory. Father, we thank you for everything you have done and what you continue to do. Father, we just ask that you be with us, you cover us, you lead us, and you guide us. Father, we ask that you let us understand the way you want us to understand. We see the way you want us to see. We hear the way you want us to hear, and we speak the way you want us to speak. Father, we see destruction is upon the land, chaos and commotion, but we know it's from your fierce anger and your wrath. We understand that you use people and nations against nations for your purpose and for your cause. Father, we just ask that we be in your will, and you protect us, and you guide us, and you lead us. And in all these things we pray in your higher name, so let it be. Shalom, 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 everyone. Y'all have a blessed one. We want to stay killing each other, and that's it. We ain't never going to rise up from generation to generation. They did it so wrong, and we just want to stand upon this info battle. This is it. I don't think so. The most I got promises for the people. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, Billy got 70 so many years. We don't woke up, we don't find out we is. But saw you the way, gonna show you the lens. Repent for your sins, be right at the end. Forsaking this world, we cannot be friends. Pray to the east if you wanna go home. Fasting and praying, I'm back in my zone. But we need you, don't leave us alone. Don't you know you got power? I bind and rebuke every demon. I go to war with some legions. I'm feeling like give me a reason. Devil, you cannot have my people. No, we cannot follow the heathen. Messiah, the way I can just let them lead you. We gotta armor up like a fiend. I'm not a rebuking the spirit of lust. I'm not a rebuking the spirit of hate. I'm not a rebuking the spirit of sin. We bind them and send them right back to the lake. We bind and rebuke them. Christ said loose them. You got some power, so walk in your faith. All in his blood. We cannot run from the demons. We bind them up right in their face. Don't you know you got power? 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 We bind and rebuke them. Christ said loose them. 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 Don't you know you got power? 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 Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Power. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah.